Hi Flosstube friends, it's Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram, and welcome to my channel today. Thanks for stopping by. It's always fun to have you visit, and I love your comments. Thanks for your subscriptions. This is a video about cross stitching, so hopefully you're interested in that. So I have lots of things to talk to you about today. It is finally summer here. I think we passed spring completely because it went from snow in the middle of May to 95 degrees yesterday. It's crazy. So we finally got all the plants planted, and we don't plant a lot. We have like window boxes along the back deck railing. So I planted pink flowers. See, I don't even know what kind of flowers I planted. Just the pink ones, pink flowers. But I did want to plant pumpkin seeds this year. I tried planting pumpkin seeds last year because we have squirrels and chipmunks, and in the fall, if you cut open your pumpkin, they love eating the pumpkin seeds and the pumpkin itself. So I thought, well, I'm going to grow pumpkins instead of buying pumpkins at the store. Then I'll have, I don't know how many pumpkins come in a pumpkin plant. Whatever, I'll have a few to share with them. So last year I planted my pumpkin seeds, and they had just come up and they were looking so healthy, and I was so excited about it. And then we had a lawn service spray our grass for something, Creeping Charlie, or there's some kind of a vine kind of a thing that works its way through. So we had them spray, they sprayed right over the top of my pumpkin plants and killed them. I was so unhappy about that. So this year I planted the pumpkin seeds in little cups to get them started, because they have to come back and spray this year because we have those little running vines again, and they haven't come out yet. And they were just starting to come up in the little pots, and Paul pointed out the window on the deck. There was a chipmunk sitting in the middle of the pots eating my pumpkin seeds. I'm going to put a picture in here. Now, that little chipmunk is as cute as can be. We love watching him run across the deck. He's as fast as can be. The cats love watching him. So I couldn't even be all that dismayed about the situation because he's just so dang cute. But he ate all of my seeds. He dug his hands into each of those 3 pots and plucked the seeds out. I did plant a couple of extra seeds in the same spot as last year, just in case, and that one's come up. So I put a big wire basket over the top so my little chippy friend doesn't eat it, and then put a sign on it for the lawn service. So I'm crossing my fingers that that'll come up. But that's all I planted, some flowers and one pumpkin plant now. So we'll see how that goes. All right, anyways, on to the cross stitching. So I've got a framed piece to share. I have some finishes to share. I have my June camp project that I've started. And I have haul, went a little overboard on haul this month, and 7 giveaways. It's my 13th Flosstube video, so I thought, lucky 13, we're going to have 7 giveaways today. So that's going to be fun. That'll be at the end. And then I'm going to do a little bit of cross-stitch camp review at the end too, for those of you who are doing camp with me. So anyway, last time the question of the day was, what is your ideal Flosstube situation? How often do you like hearing from your favorite Flosstubers? How long do you like the videos to be? And most of you were thinking along the same terms as I was, where you like it every 2 to 3 weeks in about 45 minutes to an hour. Several of you said not longer than an hour. And I agree. I mean, I do watch some that are over an hour, but it seems to me like 45 minutes to an hour is just kind of the sweet spot where it's just the perfect amount of time for watching somebody or 2 somebodies or whatever. And then most of you said, oh, I said that every 2 to 3 weeks. So I wish I could do it every 2 to 3 weeks, but just not possible right now. Once a month is what I can manage. So once a month is what I do. So thanks for sticking with me. One of the gals said, you know, if it goes longer than 2 or 3 weeks, I forget about the person. And that made me sad. So just a reminder that you can subscribe, and if you hit the little bell on the subscription, you get a notice when your Flosstubers that you've subscribed to have a new video up. So you don't have to forget about those people. Okay, so let's get into projects. So I have a framed piece back, and it's my Smith sampler by the Scarlet House. And I shared with you last time what happened with this. I showed my finished piece, and one of you, JB Photos, left a comment and said, oh, you missed a flower. And my comment back to her was, well, it's too late now because I've already taken it into Country Crafts in Greeley, which is where I have my framing done. And I thought, you know, it's probably a little thing in the border or something. And then I started thinking, maybe I just better check on that. And so I looked back on my video, and sure enough, there it is, glaring. And so many of you said, oh, I didn't even notice it, so, which was nice of you. But I went over, I sat in the shop, stitched it, and so I was able to pick this up. I'm going to get closer so you can see. Pick this up last week. And let me see if I can, this right here, oops, this right here is the little flower that was missing, and it would have been pretty darn conspicuous if she had not mentioned that. I'm so glad she mentioned that, and that I could go in and get it finished. And again, I did change the basket. That big basket there is white, and it has the word Smith in it. That's why it's the Smith sampler. But I changed it to mimic the triangles in the border. So I love how it turned out. I'm happy to hang it on my sampler wall, and glad it's finished. So I'm building my sampler wall. I think I have maybe 7 pieces on that wall right now. And it's a narrow wall because we have a weird house. It's a ranch, but it has high ceilings, and it's very open, so there's not a lot of wall space, which I've told you guys before. So I'm going to have to figure out a plan B for some of my things that I keep getting framed. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but I love seeing them, and I love having them framed. And you know, I think it was my first or second video where we talked about, are you a process stitcher or a product stitcher? Remember that conversation? And that was, do you like the process of stitching? Is that what you get the most enjoyment out of? Or do you get more enjoyment out of the finished product, having it done and having it up in your house? And at the time I said I was a process stitcher. I really love stitching, and I had a lot of things not framed, and I was totally fine with that. It wasn't until I started getting things framed that I realized, wow, I really do like having things framed. It gives me enjoyment from that piece long after I'm done stitching it. So this is just a little public service announcement, that a reminder that framing or finishing or somehow displaying your pieces is a way to honor your time and talent. And if you think, well, it's just the stitching part I like, I guarantee you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of seeing it somewhere in your house too, instead of tucked in a tub safely for years on end. So I'm just encouraging you to get some things finished. You don't have to finish all the things, but try it and see if you like doing that. Okay, so that was my framed finish. Now let's move into the things I worked on. I have one more finish. Well, I'll pull that out. Hang on. And my notes. Okay, my other finish, and this, you know, I think I say this every time I finish something. It's my favorite piece ever, but this is one of my favorite pieces ever. And I finished All Creatures. And this is by Barbara Anna, and I did it on 25 count potato Lugana 1/1. I used the DMC recommended DMC. Actually, I think Barbara Anna did it in Anchor, or I think it was Anchor, and then gave DMC alternatives, and I used the DMC. But I love how this turned out. And I know the last time I showed it in my Flosstube number 12, I showed you some of the little extra things that I added in, which is so easy to do in a design like this because you've got so much space to add things in, and there's so much going on that if you want to add, you know, a little red sock, for example, or a heart for Valentine's Day, or a rabbit for Easter, it's easy to add those things in. So I'm excited to have that one framed. I actually took that over, got the frame ordered, and then told Sherry at Greeley that I had to bring it back so I could show you guys. And so then I'll head back over there and take it over so she can finish the framing on that one. So excited to see it framed up. Somebody I was watching one time talked about making color copies of their stitched pieces, and how, you know, color copies are so good nowadays, how you can really, just a minute, glass of water. It's my allergies. All of these things blooming outside now are getting to me. How you can take a, I think it was a color copy, or was it a photo, and then reprint and frame that, and it's hard to tell that it's not the original. So I've thought about that sometimes in case you ever want to gift something to somebody, but you want to keep the original and you don't want to stitch it a second time. So I might try that maybe I'll try that with this All Creatures piece and see how it turns out. And I'll share that with you. All right, the next one I worked on this past month is my Quaker Christmas 2. Which again, terrible photo, but really cool pattern. And I want to say something about stitching in one color. It is so relaxing to stitch a one color piece, or in this case a two color piece because there's red and green. And I don't know what it is. I was thinking about it when I was doing it because I just thought this is just so relaxing. I think it's because when you're doing a regular piece, you're looking at the pattern and you're counting how many stitches of the blue and then how many stitches of the red, and where does the blue go and where does the red go, and then there's green down there, and you're always thinking about the different colors, the different symbols, the different places they go. And when you're doing a one color project, it's just like, here's where they go. That's all you have to think about. This is where those stitches go. And I think that's what makes it so relaxing. So here is my progress on that one. And I think I had, I did that big middle medallion, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and the sleigh, all of the things below the sleigh. So I'm making progress, but look how big it is. I'm not even halfway done. It's huge. And this is on 36 count Winter Morn Edinburgh. So it is, I probably should have done it on one of my 25 counts over one. But I love how it's looking on there. And I'm using Sulky 12 weight, which I really love. It comes in a spool. I can't remember if it's 50 yards in a spool. I ordered 8 spools of red and maybe 3 of the green or 2 of the green. And I'm keeping track of how many I empty out so I can let you know when I'm done how many I used. But I'm loving this Sulky. It's a thicker thread, and that's what I was looking for. I like stitching on 36 count, but I don't like the coverage I get if I'm just using one thread of floss. And so the Sulky is just enough. I think somebody originally told me it was like 1.5 times, and that's perfect for 36 count. And I think even where it's pretty solid, you know, you like those bells. Well, here, stand up. Those bells. It's pretty solid coverage. I think it works really well on 36 count. So that has been fun to work on. I originally thought I would like to get it done and framed by Christmas this year, and I've got a lot of stuff that I'm on my list, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that done. But again, it's just calm, relaxing stitching, doing one color stitching like that. All right, and then I have a few pieces that I've done previously that I don't think I've shared with you, but they're patriotic, so now's a good time to be sharing that. The first one is Little House Needlework's Old Glory. And I made that into a pillow, and it's been down in my stitching room, sewing room, whatever, craft room, which I shared with you a couple of videos ago, because I was going to put trim around it, which I do for a lot of my pillows. And when I pulled it out today, as I was looking through my patriotic things, I thought, you know, I don't know if I want trim on it this time. So weigh in on that. Tell me, do you like trim, the chenille or the pom-poms, or I don't know what else people do, ribbons and beads. Do you like trim around your pin cushions, little pin pillows, or do you like them to be more simple? I'm not going to say bare because it doesn't look bare to me, but do you like it without your trim around there? I'm interested to know. I think I'm going to leave this without any trim, but I do love the pattern. It was a fun one to stitch, and these are all mystery fabrics because, you know, I didn't pay attention back then to what I was doing. This one is Basket Full of Summertime from With Thy Needle and Thread. Love that one. And here is the finished piece. The whole reason I bought this pattern is because the little dog was carrying a flag, and I thought that was adorable. Not that I don't like the rest of the pattern, but I love the little dog carrying the flag. So, and I'm going to finish this one on one of April's boards from Homestead Needlework. I'm going to show you those boards in a minute, but I'm excited to finish on those because for holiday pieces like that, where I'm not going to keep them hanging on my wall year round, it's really nice to have a flat board or I mean, you could still frame them in a smaller frame, but I like the idea of using those boards, and I have some of those boards from April. All right, the next one is George and Martha from Plum Street. That was also a fun one to do. Both of these are on 36 count, and I'm pretty sure I used two strands of floss over 2 threads for them, because again, I do like the heavier coverage. I don't like the background fabric showing through my stitches, and I know a lot of you do like that because it's a more primitive look. And you know, I have gotten to the point where it's really nice to just stitch with 1 thread, so I'm not wanting to stitch with 2 threads as often as I used to do. So I'm not sure if I'll just not stitch on 36 count anymore, if I'll just go to 40 count because the coverage is a little better. And then I also finished out of Sweet Land of Liberty for Black BBD weekend, the first weekend of the month, that Brenda and Laura, the serial starter, are hosting or suggesting. So I did this one. It's called In Full Glory, and really I'm going to do almost everything in this book. I did Salute to Abigail, which you can see, yes, over my shoulder here. I did that last summer, I think. And so let's see if I can hold this up. Here's my finish. Nope. All right, here's my finish on that one. That was a fun one to do. I did change the colors a little bit. One of you asked what red I was using, and I used, I think it's Aztec red. Oh, now I didn't pay attention to what thread company is that. Weeks Dye Works. And then I kept Mountain Mist in there also, which is the green, and I changed the blue. I don't know what blue I used. If you want to know, just ask below and we'll look that up. And this one, because I have these 2 paddle boards that I purchased from April Homestead Needlework, I'll link below, I guess last summer, thinking without measuring, which is not smart, thinking that I could finish these 2 patriotic pieces on it, but it's too small. However, this one will finish perfectly on there. Either the red or the blue, I'm not sure which. So this one will be perfect for that. And then I bought some haul with some other patriotics that I'll show you in a little bit. And I'm going to use the other board for that, and I'm going to order new boards for the other ones. But I thought, I've already shown this one time, but I thought I would show you this again. This is Icy Red from the Scarlet House, but this is finished on one of April's boards. And she has a lot of boards where she actually tells you this board is specifically made for this pattern. And this board was made specifically for Icy Red, and it was for 32 or 36 count. I did mine on 32 count because the 2 alphabets in there are over 1, and I did not want to do over 1 on 36 if I could do it on 32. So anyway, I love her boards, and I love the idea of finishing on boards. So I'm looking forward to getting those done, which will be fun. And then my last thing I worked on was my Cross Stitch Camp June project, and I'm going to talk about Cross Stitch Camp at the end, but just a reminder, you start June 1st and you have to be done June 30th. And so I decided to do Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. You see a lot of people on Instagram doing this right now because the Fat Quarter Shop is also doing a stitch along, which I think started June 1st as well. So there are a lot of people working on this design. The colors are happy, pretty, fun colors, all DMC. So I'm loving working on those colors. And here is my progress. So I need to be done by the end of June, which is going to be fine. It'll work. I'm doing it on 25 count Potato Lugana. Again, one of my favorites. 1 thread over 1 thread. So 1 over 1. And I see some people at camp, and we have a Facebook discussion group, which I'll also tell you about later, but we're having so much fun in there. And some people are getting a little stressed about not finishing, potentially not finishing, or getting tired of working on one project. And you know, if you're not a monogamous stitcher, then working on one project for a month might be a little bit of a challenge. So, and I'm not a monogamous stitcher, as you know. So what I do is I set up different goals. So for this one, for example, I said, okay, I'm going to do the frame, the whole outline, all the frame, and then I'm going to work on something else for a day or two. And then I came back and decided, well, I decided to start on flowers. I did the one, I thought, no, I'm going to get all of the stems and leaves done. And that was my next deadline, or my, not deadline, but my goal to hit on stitching. And then I stopped and worked on something else. So for me, it helps to break it into sections, and I know sometimes people will break it even into boxes. So, you know, first week do this, second week do this, third week, fourth week, whatever. But you don't need to stitch on this the whole month. You can break it up. Now, obviously, if you chose a huge piece and you need every single day and every single minute of your time to finish that in a month, that's something different. But a lot of times people who are doing the bigger pieces are perhaps more monogamous stitchers anyways. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back to this and getting all those pretty colors on there. I knew that if I got the, I'm going to say the boring stuff, because the frame was kind of boring and the stems were kind of boring, but all of the pretty colors of flowers are going to be really fun to stitch in there. My thought was that I was going to make this into a stitching mat. Remember we talked about that in my last Flosstube, and now I don't know. I might want to have that framed down on my happy wall in my craft room. So the jury's out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the stitching mat or if I'm going to do plan B on that, but I'm looking forward to having that finished. And I did a couple of undercover projects that I can't show you, but those were fun to do too. So it was a good stitching month. It was a lot of fun. All right, so let's move on to, I don't know what, let's see what is next on my list. I've kind of gone off my list. Oh, plans for next time. So I need to finish my June camp project, which I'm looking forward to doing. I want to work on the BBD weekend, first weekend in July. I have that. Now I thought it was called Home for Christmas, but I know that's that little round one. It is, I showed it to you last time. Anyway, it's from one of their Christmas books, and I'm working on that. So I'm looking forward to working on that. I probably have to start something else because I kind of like the whole idea of having 2 different Blackbird projects going on for Blackbird weekend. That was kind of fun. And then I'm going to start my July project, but I have not decided what I'm going to do yet, because I thought I'd decided, and then I was looking at Marlene, Stitching by the Lake, wanted to do Bristol berries. I think she talked about that on her Flosstube, and I thought, oh, I want to do that too, but I haven't ordered the pattern yet, so I don't know if I'll do that. Or I have something else in my haul that came that I might want to do, or I might save that for August. I had all these decisions made, and then I start watching other people's Flosstubes, and I start looking at Instagram, and I change my mind. So I will decide before July 1st, but I'm not sure yet. All right, so let's move into haul. Crazy haul month. And let's see. Okay, I got a pile. All right, first of all, I have this pattern, which the lovely Padma sent me a whole packet of patterns that she had bought twice or had bought and wasn't going to use again. And she said, if you want any of these for yourself, feel free to keep them, and then the rest of them use for prizes for cross stitch camp. So sweet of her. So I picked this one out because I don't have that one, and I would love to do that one someday. And then I saved all the rest for camp, and I'll show you those prizes later. I also got this Happy Birthday America, which everybody's working on. I got the kit, so I have the little paper mache box. Haven't started it yet, but that one's really fun. And then, sorry for the crinkles. I also forgot to show you this last time. I got a Stitch Folk bag. Barry's bags are beautiful. And I like that it has a handle. Most of my bags don't have a handle, but I can see that being really handy. So I love that. Inside is my Martha Scott, which I wanted to work on this month, did not work on this month. So hopefully next month I can work on Martha Scott. So that's another one. And then I got 2, when I picked up my last framing at my LNS, I got 2 patterns there. So this is La Di Da. I've always loved this little Christmas one. Not sure how I will finish that. Oh, that would be cute on one of April's little boards. Wouldn't that be cute on that? I'll have to check the sizing on that. So that one was fun. And then I also got this one that one of the campers, cross stitch campers, is working on, and I just love those blues. So I got that. I'm anxious to start that. So this is a candidate maybe for, well, it could be for July or August. I've never stitched Sue Hillis. Is that who it is? Yeah. I've never stitched one of her designs before. And the challenge for cross stitch camp in July is to stitch a new designer, new to you designer. And then I ordered these 3 things from Misty at Luminous Fiber Arts, and I will also link to her below. And that's American Sampler House. Isn't that cute? Annie B's folk art, which I've also never done an Annie B's. I could do that. Huh. I'm kind of going to be in trouble. I've got too many options. And then I got Red, White, and Bloom that everybody has. I'm really looking forward to making some more patriotic pillows for my dough bowls. And another patriotic one, another Barbara Anna, as you know I love her stuff. Long May She Wave. Isn't that cute? Love that. I don't think there's a Barbara Anna design that I don't like. She's just, I like the whimsy of them. I love the colors in them. So that is not a candidate for July because I've made her patterns before, but it could be a candidate for my August challenge. And then I was watching Jacob, Modern Folk Embroidery, and in May he was doing a special fundraiser for India and all that's going on there because his husband is from India. And so he was giving a certain percentage of his pattern sales, or maybe the profits from his pattern sales, either on his website or on evertote.com. And so I went there and bought this one, which is kind of fun. Love the colors in that, although I picked different colors. It says, bestow your alms whene'er you see an object in necessity. And it uses the old F's in place of the S's. So when you first look at it, you're like, what does that say? So those are all S's. And then it uses Leo and Roxy floss. So I could do that in August because that is try a new fabric or a new floss to you. And so they were out of the packet that it called for. Hang on, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read. So it calls for Vampish, Plum Shadow, and Caramel. And I got these colors. The red just for fun because, you know, I'm going to do more red samplers. The blue is, I think, well, I'm not sure. I gotta look. Anyways, the blue is the color that is not what was called for on the pattern, but I thought it would be really pretty in this pattern. So I'm anxious to try this new floss company. I think that's fun. And also this pattern. Then, well, I ran out of projects with silks. Do you remember, I think I just first tried silks in my maybe second or third Flosstube last year. And I always advise people, if you want to try silks, maybe pick a small project. And I picked, see, I should have brought them, two little pin pillows about this big. Those sampler birds, who is it that does those sampler birds? There's a red bird sampler and a blue bird sampler. And one of you wonderful people sent me Silks for You in red, which I still have plenty of that. It's beautiful. And so I tried that. That was my first silk that I tried in that red bird sampler. And then I bought, I think, Belsois for the bluebird sampler. And it's a nice way to try silks, to see if silks are something that you want to use. It's interesting how silks are expensive, no doubt about it, especially when you compare them to DMC, which is a wonderful floss. A lot of us grew up stitching with just DMC before we had other options. But some of the silks come with 12 strands, whereas the hand-dyeds come with 6 strands. 6 strands in the thread. Okay, my mind is going. I love it when other floss tubers are trying to think of a word and they're like, oh, what is that word? My mind is just gone. It's so reassuring because that happens to me all the time, and it usually happens in the middle of a video where I'm trying to think of something. As soon as I turn the video off, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what it was called. I couldn't think of that at the moment. So all of you floss tubers who do that in the middle of your floss tube, that's so reassuring to me. Thank you for doing that. Anyways, yes, silk is expensive, especially if you're buying a lot of colors for a project. But once I started using silk, and I know some people say I'm afraid to start using silk because I'm afraid I won't want to stitch with the other ones, and I have no problem going back to DMC or doing the over-dyed cottons. They're all beautiful. I like stitching with all of them. But I did decide when like that Smith sampler was done in silks from the attic, and it's just so pleasurable to stitch. The silk just glides through. I love the little bit of sheen to it. I love the saturation of color. So I decided at that point, I always want to have one project going on that's in silks. So if there's a day when I just feel like having, working on something like that, I can do it. So I decided that I wanted to get the silks for Jane Bannister from Hands Across the Sea. I should pay more attention to this because there are a lot of silks in this. So I called the attic, and Carolyn, Stash Sisters, answered the phone, so that was fun to talk to her. But I said, okay, I want to get the silks for Jane Bannister. You know they sent it to me all beautiful, and I took them all out for an Instagram photo, and then I just dropped them back in, not quite so beautiful. But they sent it beautifully. So I said, okay, I want the silks for Jane Bannister, and then I'm also going to do Snooty Parrots by Barbara Anna, but I'll just take the regular floss for that. Here's Snooty Parrots. And Carolyn, who you know is the silk queen, says, all she says is, oh, we did a silk conversion for that, yeah. That's all she said. And what comes out of my mouth, but, oh, I'll take the silks for that too then. Carolyn. And really, I can't blame her because that's all she said. She didn't say, oh, you should do it in silks. Or she didn't say, oh, the silks are really nice for that one. All she said was, oh, yeah, we did a silk conversion for that one. And that's all it took for me to buy the silks for that one, too. Fortunately, not quite so many colors on that one. When you buy the silks, a set of silks for a pattern from the attic, they come on a really pretty little colored ring, and they make a little tag for you that tells you what that goes with. And so I think I'm still missing 4 of the colors for that, which they will be sending me. But aren't those pretty? And I'm going to do that on this fabric flare cafe au lait 40 count. So I'm anxious to get the other, I don't think I'll start it until I get the other flosses so that I can make sure they all look pretty on that fabric, but won't that be nice? So now I have 2 projects again, Carolyn, for silks, and I'm really looking forward to starting those. Like I said, I have so many projects that I want to do coming up. Okay. So I have 3 things to share today. As usual, it's not 3 things I'm all into, just 3 fun things that I think you should know about. And the first one I just found out about this morning because a friend of mine posted it on her Facebook page, and it was adorable. She has a little 3-year-old who is the cutest little boy, and she used this app to cartoon the whole family. So she had a cartoon of her, a cartoon of this cute little guy, and a cartoon of her husband. And the app is called Voila, and I think it's AI Artist, and I will link it below. It is so fun to cartoon yourself. My phone is charging, or I would show you the cartoon that I made of myself, because of course it makes you look a lot younger when you're in cartoon, takes away all the wrinkles. Not that there's anything wrong with wrinkles, but all of a sudden seeing yourself in cartoon is a lot of fun. But I thought for those of you with grandkids, they would probably get a real kick out of it. It's a free app. Of course, you can upgrade if you don't want the ads or whatever, but the free one is just fine, and it's fun to play around with. So that's the Voila, with a V, Voila, AI Artist app. And I will link below. My second thing is, and see, I'm going to talk about, I really don't eat chocolate or sugar. Well, I do eat chocolate. Okay, never mind. I'm going to talk about chocolate again this time because I talked about it last time, but this is another thing that I am into, and that is Lindt 70% cocoa dark chocolate. I know 70% is a really high percentage of dark chocolate. You know, dark chocolate with the higher percentages is good for you, actually, not eating the whole bar. But I eat 1 or 2 squares a day. It's just enough, and because I don't eat sugar, really, besides this, it tastes so sweet to me. It's going to taste bitter if you're used to milk chocolate and a lot of chocolates, but I buy these on Amazon by the 12-pack, which lasts me for, a couple months or 3 months. I don't know how long it lasts me, but so good. Just a little bit of chocolate. And of course, Lindt chocolate is wonderful. So I can link to that below too. The third thing is I discovered iced coffee last week when it was so hot out, and I wanted coffee, but I didn't want hot. And so we have an espresso, which I love, I don't go out for coffee much anymore because I just love the Nespresso coffee so much. You can recycle the pods, because I know that's not the most ideal thing, the pods. But you take one of their espresso pods, so it's a smaller pod, and what I do is I fill my coffee mug with ice, and then I pour a glug, glug, glug of creamer in there, and I use heavy whipping cream for my coffee, and then let the espresso, not blend, see there I am again with the words. Let the espresso make itself into the cup, whatever that word is. And then you add a little bit of water, stir it up, and oh my gosh, it's so delicious. In fact, I had 2 that day because it was just so good. So I love my Nespresso machine, but I love it even more with the iced coffee. So there you go. All right, last time we had, okay, wait, first before I do who won the giveaway last time, I have 2 patterns that people keep asking me, what is that pattern? And you know, I told you in my first video why I got rid of all my cross-stitching patterns a while ago. And so I have 2 patterns I need your help with identifying. So this is the first pattern. Does anybody know what that pattern is? It looks kind of like drawn thread to me, but I don't know. So tell me if you know what this pattern is. Please leave a comment, because people ask about that one anytime I have it in the background. And then this one, what is that pattern? I did that, I guess in the 90s or very early 2000s. I didn't stitch much into the 2000s, and I didn't frame it until last year. So I bought this frame at Hobby Lobby. It was the perfect color for this, the flosses that are called for, but nobody has been able to tell me what this pattern is, but I know somebody out there knows both of these. And I meant to ask this one last time and I totally forgot, so I put it on top of my giveaway pile, so I would have to move it to tell you about the giveaway. Okay, Deborah at Joyful Stitching has so very, very graciously donated project bags to me to use as giveaways for you guys, and she makes the best project bags. I'm telling you what, I like project bags, like I said last time, that are a little stiffer. I don't like the ones that are just too floppy, and these are just perfect. They're so well made. She's quilted the back. She includes a little accessory pouch. She puts floss, DMC floss in there for you that matches. And so this was the giveaway last time, this adorable Gnomes project bag, and I told you I loved it so much when she sent me the color or the fabric options that I ordered one for my own self. And so this one, you had to use the word camp, and we had 660 entrants to the contest, and the winner is Bat Stitch Crazy. Bat Stitch Crazy. So if you can get a hold of me, my email is always in the drop box below. And let me know, and I'll get this mailed right out to you. Which brings us to, let's do a question of the day first. Now this is a question, I'm doing some getting to know you questions over on the Camp Cross Stitch Facebook page, which has been super fun, and everybody's been so great to participate. And so one of the questions I asked was, which designer holds the most space in your collection? So who do you have the most of? So that's our question of today for you all, if you can leave that answer below. And you know what? We always call it stash. My pattern stash, my fabric stash, my thread stash. And I started thinking the other day, I'm going to stop calling it a stash. I'm going to start calling it a collection. To me, a stash is kind of like stashing away, like almost hoarding. And I don't feel like when and maybe I'm just being delusional, but I don't feel like when I'm buying things that I am hoarding things. I feel like I'm collecting things. I want a collection of threads. I want a collection of patterns. I certainly want a collection of my favorite designers' patterns. I want a collection of fabrics. Because I want to have a lot of things to pick from when I am ready to stitch the next thing. Now, you know, having gone through the whole COVID thing when it was hard to get some fabrics and hard to get some flosses, you know, we all certainly appreciated the fact that we had a good collection to pick from when we couldn't get necessarily what we wanted from our favorite shops. So I'm striking the word stash. If I say stash accidentally in future videos, you just like call me on that in the comments. I'm going to start calling it my collections because I am happy with what I'm collecting. I love the collecting process. I love getting different fabrics and different threads and different patterns, and it is a fun collection to have. And I also heard that collecting is a whole separate hobby than stitching. So you got the stitching part of your hobby and you have the collecting part of your hobby, and those are two separate things. So have at it. So what designer holds the most space in your design pattern collection? Leave that down below. All right, so we have for our 7 giveaways, I have 1 project bag and 7 fabrics to give away this time. So again, Deborah from Joyful Stitching, link below, has donated this adorable patriotic project bag with the little accessory bag inside with 2 skeins of red. I don't know if they're the same skeins, but one of them is $4.98, which is one of my favorite reds. So you got $4.98 and let's see. Yeah, they're both $4.98. So you could do a really pretty red sampler. So let's see. The word for if you want to be entered into this patriotic giveaway for project bag. Look, she puts these little matching ribbons as the zipper pull. Just so well done. The word is patriotic if you want to be entered into the giveaway for this project bag. Patriotic. Again, you know, the usual things. You have to be 18 because I'm going to have to ask you for your address if you win. Don't say all the words that trigger the bots like giveaway and contest and all of those things. So patriotic for this one. And then Fabric Flair, the fabric company, contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in giving away some of their fabrics, which of course I knew you guys would love that. They do printed fabrics and they're so cool, and so they sent me 7, told me I could keep a couple. I kept 1 because I feel like if people have donated for a giveaway, I want to use it as a giveaway for you guys. So I kept the one that I showed you earlier, Cafe au Lait, that I'm going to do my Snooty Parrots piece on. And then I've got these for giveaway. So I'm going to tell you the name of the fabric, and that will be your keyword if you're interested in that one. And again, I don't mind if you want to just say patriotic lime dots, blah, 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 all the names at the very end of your comment. You don't have to make it all into one sentence. So this is the first piece, which is lime dots, and it's a 40 count. Can't you just see how fun that would be for Easter and spring pieces? Or Christmas. Oh my gosh, Christmas would be super fun on this too. It's showing up brighter on screen. It looks really bright on screen. It's not quite that bright. I don't know if I can get it. I don't know if I can get it to more of the what it really is, but it's a beautiful large piece of fabric. So that one is lime dots. I'm telling you, some of these are so cool, and if you have just the right project. This one is Victorian Roses. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now this I can also see using that for spring. It is a beautiful robin's egg blue. It looks green to me on the screen. I don't know what it's going to come across as when the video uploads. But it's like a robin's egg blue with some beautiful sage subtle leaves and really subtle light pink to brown roses. Gorgeous. So that piece is Victorian Roses, and this is a 36 count linen. This one is fun. This is called Butterfly Damask, and this is, the other thing I love is they have it stitched right in the corner, 40 count linen. Butterfly Damask, and this is a really light tan. To me, it's a cooler tan, and it's just got these subtle damask imprints on it. I don't know how well that shows up, but isn't that beautiful? It was really fun to see all of these fabric choices. And of course, I'll link to all of these below. And then we have Ice Cream World Pale. Okay, how cool is that? Look at all those colors and how they just blend into one another. Again, I can see this for, okay, it's dark, it's not that dark. It's showing up way darker on the screen. It is more subtle, and it's just beautiful. I don't know how to make it show up the right color. It's just beautiful, and it would be really fun for some fun summer prints. And this one is 36 count. Ice Cream World Pale. And then we have Script, and this one is 40 count. I was very tempted by this one too. I was tempted by all of them. This is a yellow tan, like a warm tan. It is tan. It reminds me of parchment paper, but it's showing up on screen as yellow, and it is not. It is a tan. It looks like old maps. And then it has just those really subtle words. Again, you're getting a big piece. So you could do several smalls or a couple of larger pieces on this. That one was Script. And the last one is Victorian Winter, and this is 36 count linen. Wow. It's not purple. It's blue, and it's a lot more subtle than that, but isn't that pretty? Where you have the blue on the top and the brown on the bottom, and can you just see a snow scene in there? Because it's got little subtle snowflakes. They're round dots. They don't look like snowflakes. They look like snowflakes, but they're not six-pointed snowflakes, but isn't that fun? So that one is Victorian Winter. So thank you so much to Fabric Flair for donating all of these beautiful pieces of fabric for us, and I know the people who win those are going to love working with them. They're just stunning, and just keep in mind they're a little lighter than what's showing up on the camera. All right, so the last thing I want to do is talk about Cross Stitch Camp briefly again, and I also want to show you some of the donations that have come in and tell you how you can win one of those things, possibly. So, Cross Stitch Camp is virtual. I started this last month with my last Flosstube, so if you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can go to my Flosstube number 12. But I own a yarn shop called The Loopy U. We've had The Loopy U for 15 years, and we've done a virtual knitting camp for 11 years of that time. And I just was thinking about the stitching world and how we needed to do a virtual cross stitch camp too. So that's why I came up with that last month and jumped into it, and all of you have jumped in with me, and it has been so fun to see so many hundreds of you guys doing cross stitch camp. So here's how it works. We have a challenge for each month. I gave all 3 challenges last video, but I'll tell you what they are again. And so the challenge is not only a particular parameter, but also that you start your project on the 1st of the month, not before, and you finish by the last day of the month or before. You can certainly finish early. So the challenge for June is to stitch a project that was inspired by someone else. So you have seen that project on somebody's Instagram and fell in love with it, or you saw it at your local needlework shop, fell in love with it, saw it on Facebook, saw it on a Flosstube. So inspired by somebody, inspired enough that you wanted to buy the pattern and do it. So that's the June challenge. And then again, start at June 1st or later and finish by the 30th of June or earlier. It has to be done in the 30 days of June. The July challenge is to pick a designer that you've never stitched before, because I thought this would be a fun way for all of us to branch out a little bit and try some new designers and spread the design love around a little bit. And so that one needs to be started July 1st or later and finished by July 30th or earlier. And then the August project is to try a new to you fabric or floss. And somebody asked on the Facebook page, is it okay if I try a different color in a fabric I've used before? That's totally fine. It was just a fun way to branch out, maybe try some of the things in your collection of fabric or floss that you haven't tried before. I knew some of you would want to try silks, and it's been fun to see that some of you are doing silks for August. And again, start August 1st or later, finish August 30th, August 30th, 31st. I'm not going to do the thing where I count my knuckles again because I did that last time. I probably confused you on that. Anyways, the last day in August, you're going to stop on the last day of August and have a finish. Again, it doesn't have to be fully finished, just the stitching needs to be finished. And the way that we're doing the giveaways is I'm tracking this all on Instagram. So you do need to have an Instagram account if you want to be eligible for the prize drawings. You don't have to have an Instagram account if you just want to stitch along and have the fun of camp and not worry about the drawings. So that's totally up to you. When you post on Instagram, you need to do two things. You need to do hashtag, and you know, I've had so many people message me and say, I am new to Instagram. I don't even know how to post on Instagram, and how do I link to you? So you want a hashtag, and the hashtag, we would call it the pound sign back in the day, or the number sign, but that's also called the hashtag sign. So you do the hashtag and you type in cross stitch camp. Remember, cross stitch has 3 S's there in the middle. Cross stitch camp, hashtag cross stitch camp, and then you put a space, because you don't want to run these two together because then it won't work. Put a space and then use the @ symbol, you know, like you have an @ symbol in your email. Your email might be susie@gmail.com. So use the @ and put Colorado Cross Stitcher, which is my Instagram name. And that way I'm alerted that you have posted a camp picture. So I'm searching through the hashtags and the alerts every day. And if I have clicked the like button on your photo that you posted, then you know I have seen your photo and I have you on my list. And I have 5 pages of list, 3 columns in each page that I spread out, and I double check every day to check on you guys. I'm checking off when you're doing a finish, when you finished it, because my idea is we will have water. I think we will do one giveaway of a project bag to all participants, whether you finish or not. So anybody participating in June that has put that on Instagram and hashtagged it, and I have them on my list, I'm going to draw for a project bag, and then I'm going to take all the people who are finishers in that month within the parameters of, you know, starting June 1st, ending by June 30th, all of that stuff. First or after, because we have a lot of late people coming in. That's totally good. The finishers I'm going to put in more of a grand prize drawing, where, because we've got some cool stuff that is coming in, and so we're going to do the grand prize drawing from the finishers of the month. So that's how that's going to work. If you didn't get to do June, you can still jump in. I'm not saying how big of a project. It doesn't have to be a big project. You can pick a big project if you want. You can also pick a little project just so that you can participate and get a finish. It's totally up to you. We all have different amounts of time available in our lives for stitching, and I want it to be something that you're comfortable with. So even if you haven't started into June and you want to, you're welcome to jump in now. This video is going up before the middle of the month, so you've still got plenty of time to do June. If you're going on vacation in August and there's no way you can do August, just do June and July, or just pick July, or you can do 1 month, you can do 2 months, you can do all 3 months, but we're having a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join us for Cross Stitch Camp. I also have a Oh, I did want to talk about private accounts on Instagram. I cannot see your hashtags if you hashtag and tag me if your account is set on private. I totally respect those of you who want to have private accounts. I have a private personal account on Instagram. My Colorado Cross Stitcher is a public account because all I put on there is cross stitching. If you have a private account and have followed me, even then I won't see your posts. And I don't usually follow private accounts just because you have to request permission, and I just figure, you know what, if you have a private account, that's fine. If you want me to be able to see your hashtags and be entered into the drawings though, send me a message so I can request to follow you so that I can then see your hashtags, all right? Because again, I don't typically follow those, and so I'd love to know if you're doing camp and you want me to follow you so I can see those. And then we also have a private group on Facebook, and private just means that you have to answer a membership question to join in, because I don't want it to be public posts for everybody to see. I just want members of the group to be able to talk and chat and participate and not worry about it all being public. And so you have to answer one question, and the question is, who is your favorite designer? Now, the reason I ask you to pick one, I really don't I really don't care who your favorite designer is, but if you pick a cross-stitch designer, then I figure you're a cross-stitcher, and so I let you in. I figure you're not a bot. So I had somebody say, I hate this question. Why do all the groups ask this stupid question? Well, she might not have said stupid, but in my mind, that's how she was saying it. And I'm like, we all ask it to make sure you're a stitcher wanting to get into the group, not, somebody just wanting to selling you multi-level marketing things or whatever. So there's a reason for asking questions. If people don't answer the question, I generally don't approve the membership, because I figure it's one question. You can answer one question so I can make sure that you're not a bot. So we would love to have you join the group. I think there's, 800 or 900 people in it so far, and we're just having a great time talking and encouraging each other, and I would love to have you join the group if you're on Facebook and want to. Okay, gosh, I think that's everything for today. Showed you my finishes, showed you my haul. Oh no, right, I'm going to show you all of the things that I've gotten in for camp giveaways. Right. Can't believe big old box sitting right in front of me. I can't believe I was going to forget to tell you that. All right, let me move the fabric to the floor so that I can. All right, first I want to read the names of the people, because some people have just donated. Like I said, Padma donated extra patterns that she had that were brand new, not used. And we've had people donate gift certificates, and so not all the people have a shop to promote. I have linked to all of these shops in the Facebook group on the very top post pinned to the top. I'm going to link to all of these generous people in my show notes on this video, so you can look down there and click. Please visit their shop and support them and thank them for supporting camp, because it's just such a generous donation that they've given and taken their time to make things or to donate things, and that just makes camp more fun for all of us. So let me first read through the list. I also have a few more people that have contacted me and want to donate. I just haven't received the donations yet, and I know they're coming, so I update the list when those come in. So people on the list, Jackie, and she has a Flosstube, Needles in My Hand, so be sure to check out Needles in My Hand, linked below. Nancy Cuevas, she has an Etsy shop. April Taylor, who does homestead needlework, the beautiful boards. Stitched Lit by Claire. Merritt, who is So Just Because on Instagram. Deborah, who does Joyful Stitching Store, those project bags. Michelle at Under the Woolen Willow has donated a gift certificate each month to her wonderful shop. Robin from houseoffiberarts.com, she has wonderful patterns that she's donated. Kelly from Country Lane Needlework, Amanda from Starlight Stitching Company, Christina, who has an Etsy shop, Quilting with Nico, Carrie, who has an Etsy shop, Curious Carrie, Elizabeth, who has an Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative, and then Diana Erickson and Padma Rubales. So we've had a lot of really wonderful donations. Oh, I gotta leave the glasses on, and I know it's annoying to take them on and off, so I'm just gonna leave them on so I can read. So we have from Three Sisters Creative this really fun camping project bag. How cute is that? And it's got a zip top, so nothing's gonna fall out. And then it comes with, I haven't even opened this part. Oh, very cute. A scissor fob that has a tent on it. That's really cute. A needle minder with the same fabric, and a little accessory pouch for your scissors or your floss or your needles or what have you. And that will all stay together in one drawing. Three Sisters Creative. And then we have, and I thought these were really fun too. This is from Kelly Whitaker, Country Lane Needlework. And she donated, so we'll put one of these in each of the month's drawings. She donated 3 thread drop sets with floss, and she even labeled what the floss is. So you know, if you're looking for that DMC color, you've already got it. So those are really super cute. All right. And I had to open into the bag, but she had it bagged up in this tissue with this cute little beaded tie around it. So darling. All right, and then from Goose, another bag designer that I've purchased from and adore, Denise sent this fun summer gnome project bag. And I'm sure you probably have Goose project bags too. They're super well made. Again, sturdy. I love her bags. So that's from Denise at Goose. Okay, this one arrived yesterday. And this is from Christina at Quilting with Nico, N-E-K-O, on Etsy. And I'm reading her note, and I get to the bottom and I squealed because she says, I hope that you will keep one of these project bags for all your hard work to run this event. And I was like, I told Paul, I get to keep one of these. So I'm going to keep one of these kitty ones because isn't that cute? And hers also come with a handle. And I love the size of this. It's not as wide as some of them, so these are perfect for some of your smaller patterns that you do. Sometimes you don't want all of that. I mean, it's certainly a big project bag, and you can still fit your 8.5 by 11. Double check. Yeah, easily fit your 8.5 by 11 patterns in there, but also cool for the smaller ones. So here are the 3 that are going in the drawings. Cute. The inside has yarn balls. Kitty and a dog puppy with paw prints on the inside. And another kitty. Again, super well made, just really nice. Nice bags. And Christina, thank you so much for sending me one. I will love using that one. And then we have, let's see, Robin. No, one more bag. Let me show you this one more bag, and then we'll be done with it. Now this bag, I know you guys are all going to wish she had an Etsy shop. This is from Diana Erickson, and she just sews. And so she made one. Look how fun. But look at the back. Cross Stitch Camp 2021. Isn't that cool? She does not have a shop, but she does make really pretty bags. All right, and then Robin from October House Fiber Arts sent a lot of cute patterns. So a knitter's sampler for those of you who are knitters and stitchers. And then shepherd's sampler, which this is one of those one color samplers that you might want to try. Really fun. Let's see. Forget Me Not. Sweet little pin cushion to do for a friend. Be a Cheerful Giver. Well, isn't that a happy pattern? Love and Joy. I also think the colors in there are so pretty. Love and Joy. So Blessed. Love that. Of course, and this is another one that not a lot of different colors, and if you're not a pink person, you could certainly do it in blues and greens. That would be fun too. Flosstube Friends. Isn't that cute? Flosstube Friends. So again, that is Robin from OctoberHouseFiberArts.com. Link will be below. And then Padma sent me her extra patterns, which is so lovely. And she sent 1,000 Hills from Plum Street. And the way I'll do this is I'm just going to split all of these up into 3 grand prizes so that people will get several patterns in their grand prize. This is the Rooster and the Hen. I don't know if you can see that. Little House Needleworks. Also Little House Needleworks, the Stitching Bee. It's a cute one. I did this one too. I love this one. Stitchy Stars, which I just bought in my own haul last month. I love that. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to make a project bag. Or I say I'm going to make a project bag. I started to make a project bag last month. Have not finished it yet. But I thought this would be really cute as a strip on the top of a project bag. So that's what I'm going to do mine for. Prim Village, and that comes with a little key fob or thread thread fob. That's cute. And then a Dimensions kit, which is a birth sampler. Really cute animals on that, and that comes with the Ada fabric and the floss. So that's delightful. And then April from Homestead Needlework sent a bunch of her beautiful finishing products. And if you have not made a visit to Homestead Needlework, and Needlework has an E on the end, Needlework with an E, on Etsy, you need to do it. Like I said, I bought boards from her, and I feel like I've ordered from her at least 2 or 3 times, but last summer, and have another cart ready to go. So I actually pulled this one out to see if it's the same size that I need for my one of my Patriotics, because I wanted to order one of these, and it will work. So I am going to order one of these. This is a nice wide one. So this, and then I'm going to show you these, and then I'll show you more boards. These are so cool, and I have not ordered these from her, and now that I've seen them, I really want to. So it's to make a little pin cushion, and you can see the size of it, about the size of your hand, and it's done on a little piece of wood, so it's sturdy. I do have one of these tart pin cushions somebody made for me, and I love it, and I have it by my stitching chair, but sometimes I wish it was a little more heavy because it gets tipped over, or it's just lightweight. This really adds the heft to the pin cushion, and I think it's a brilliant idea. So she has them in all different colors. So she sent red, white, and blue for the summer. So we'll put one of those in each of the grand prizes. And then I'm just going to show you the different boards. So she does her boards in, so this one is old barnwood. Isn't that a cool finish? She does boards in different sizes, and like I said, sometimes she'll say this is perfect for this particular design that people seem to be doing and looking for. And she has different, like this is a tall one, and they all come in many different colors. So I've looked at all of her colors. I thought this one is cool, like a whale tail topper. She has me wanting to finish on boards instead of pin pillows, which I think the boards go a lot faster. There's another whale tail one. Cool. And we have a red. Now, can you just see this on Christmas, for Christmas, little Christmas finish? Or a, like a back to school kind of a finish in the fall, or apples. Love that. Again, different sizes, different shapes on the top. Just kind of fun to have a mixture of different ones. Two more. So generous, April. This is a fun color blue, isn't it? It's not quite that bright. Well, it's not that bright. And then this one, which reminds me of a milk can. I don't know what it's supposed to, let me see if it says. Oh, I don't know what that says. A what? Oh, it's a whale tail. It's also a whale tail, but it could be a milk can, because wouldn't that be fun to do like some cow design on there? All right, so those are all from, oh no, wait, there's two more. Another whale tail and another just rounded one in the mustard color, which I love that color. So there will be a lot of happy people winning those prizes this summer too for camp. Maybe I think I will draw one board and one project bag for all participants. So two prizes for just anybody who's participating that month via the hashtags. And then the other ones I'll split up into the grand prize drawings, because those grand prize drawings are going to be awesome. All right, now that is finally it. End of my Flosstube for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you lasted all the way to the end, thank you for doing that. I know it was a little bit long, but I hope you're joining for Cross Stitch Camp. I've got some more fun ideas up my sleeve that I'm going to be sharing with you. Probably, maybe in my next video, probably for sure in my August video, but possibly in my July video that I'm excited about. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So again, thanks for joining me, and take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.